Kevin Landon, you are pretty popular on the show because we have quoted you numerous times already. I think it was this episode and this one. But yeah, you're talking about people you haven't seen before. While I know it's kind of dated, you haven't fully heard all of our replies, responses, reactions to it. So understand that, because you're getting it now. So what do you think about Decapre?
Decapre, I think she's gonna be a monster. In my opinion, I saw the second build that they had where Combo Fiend and who was it?
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt, when they were playing. And Reinhardt was sitting there on stage like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. Why are these certain things occurring on the screen? And I am trying to do something about it, but it's not happening. But we also have to understand and take into consideration that Combo Fiend has been playing his character since his inception. And he knows what it can and cannot do against various characters. So he is very in-depth within that field of knowledge. And since he was introducing that field of knowledge to a new slew of players who have not seen that particular field of knowledge, of course, it can be granted that they were going to have a little bit of trouble versus his character. But at the same time, Reinhardt did not lose every single match. To my knowledge, I might be incorrect on that. Don't quote me. I'll go back and do my research. You can drop it in the comments and let me know if I'm wrong. I'm fine with that. But it takes time to adjust to new elements in the game. And Ultra is a new game. On Decapre, when she's going to be played, she's going to be extremely popular. Everybody's going to be playing her. There's going to be new setups, new mix-ups, new cross-ups, new everything that everybody is going to have to deal with and learn with on a constant basis.
Yeah, like, for instance, like, and I understand because I saw the reports afterwards. The Decapre we saw at Final Round, that's not the final build for her. They said they're going to tweak some stuff down to make sure she isn't too devastating. But even still, think about this though. This goes back to the whole pick a top tier thing, because Reinhardt picked two of the most fearsome characters in the whole entire series from vanilla Street Fighter to now. He had Vanilla Sagat, and Vanilla Sagat got squashed practically. He had the initial AE Yun, who was considered the most top tier, craziest character in the game then. And I think he got a couple in, but still, he still didn't get it.
Yeah, he got beasted on for the most part.
So, I mean, it's a combination of not knowing this fresh new face debuting character, but I feel that also goes back to the whole thing about picking the top tier again. It's like it didn't work that time. I mean, think about it. This is a fresh new face, but hey, fresh new faces, and in this case, maybe not totally fresh new, but think about those characters, like when Jin first started getting up there, and then people don't know too much about Gin from what it seemed. It was a fresh new character.
Zien let them know about him.
Nobody paid attention to the character until this person started playing. When I first saw him, like, I've got to play some Jin players, not Jin, but some Gin players, because I don't know crap about this character. Out of every single match I've had in AE Online, out of every time I played somebody in this game, I have probably only run into 2 Gins, and both of them were online, and I really didn't get to see much of the character, so it didn't really help. But it's that hidden face factor, I say. The sleepers, I think Maximilian called them. These slept-on characters. I consider them the real top tier, because, like I said, he came out of nowhere, and it's like, oh my god,
he won Evo.
It's Gin.
He won Evo with Gin.
It's Gin.
Just came out of nowhere completely. Right. Shocker.
But yeah, 4-hour runoff on Decapre. Wolfman.
I'm just interested in this backstory about Decapre.
Backstory. Yeah. So you don't know too much about the backstory of Decapre.
All I know is she's Russian from what I've learned so far.
Well, she was part of the cloning project with Bison.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yep, she's one of the dolls.
Yes, one of the dolls. And I haven't done too much research on her myself, but from what I will infer by the information that I have researched, she was one of the more perfected Cammy dolls from M. Bison's cloning project. And based on that, and guessing this is adding on to official Street Fighter lore. Do not quote me on that because I'm not sure if all of this information that I am presenting to you is true. But just from my own inferences, this was one of his most deadliest weapons. And if I was Bison, I would hold back one of my best until the proper time to release her. I mean, I'm guessing a la Capcom and the entire conspiracy on the last character that was going to be released, which Yoshinori Ono did an excellent job of completely concealing. Like, the entire propaganda behind his character was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and also, with that last little bit of piece of information you brought out, you said he would release his deadliest weapon when it came time. You think that is what... You think that's what was going on? It came to the reveal trailer when you saw it, like when they all gathered up before Bison, and then it's your time to go now. Go now.
I would say yes.
Yeah, it could
just in my opinion.
It very well could be. Since you mentioned the whole controversy about the whole thing, I'll go ahead and ramble about Decapre. Alright. The Cammy clone issue here.
People don't seem to like it. A few people, not everybody.
The only thing I will give the people who didn't like the character is this. There are numerous, I forgot exactly how many dolls. I would think they're 12, because they represent the months of the year. I think they're 12 of them. Why do they have to pick the one that looks like Cammy? Because, oh my gosh, before the character even moved, that's what everybody said. Oh my god, it's Cammy with the mask. And before I go any further, remember what Gift told us yesterday? He thinks in the comics there's something that possibly suggests that
I remember that
Decapre may be Cammy as an alter ego, despite the fact with the burned face and everything. I don't think that's accurate.
Like a split personality type of Cammy?
It's possible.
I mean, it's possible. I don't think so, but it's possible. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what he's insinuating.
Cammy's dark side, I guess, if you would allow that.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is
but
either.
Hey, there's some proof there to suggest it is. I mean, because I would think that, Decapre is her own person.
She's a clone, first of all.
And she's from Russia, supposedly. But, it could all be a guise. But, yeah. Aesthetically looking at the character, yeah, it's Cammy with the mask. But the moves are totally different.
Totally different.
They're totally different.
Nothing like Cammy.
There's no cannon spike then. The dive kick is very crazy.
Oh, the dive kick is nasty. I love that dive kick.
I mean, anything... Just putting it in a nutshell, because I did a rant about this when the character first came out, just to let off steam. I felt this character, Decapre, I felt like she would appeal more to Dawson and Vega players, if anything. I say Dawson because of that Fireball Ultra that is just like Dawson's, except it moves slower, has more hits.
It's like that, but okay, that's just the Ultra. I mean, what about the character's normals and the other things that she can cancel into? I would say she's more so akin to a player like Vega.
I mean, I was saying like Dawson because like she also has teleport, so she can kind of emulate some of the same mix-up he has with Yoga Catastrophe, and think he can teleport.
True.
She's faster on feet. She's not going to slow down like, and then he can get counter. Like, it's nothing like that. But and think about it, it's a bigger fireball. It takes more hits. Because think about it, you saw Ryan Hart as Vanilla Sagat throw 2 tiger shots at it. Then it
did nothing.
Stayed there, took a mix-up and death. I'm not sure if he got cheesed or if it was like actually. I'm
pretty sure if that's the case, then that orb just has infinite durability while it's on the screen.
9 hits, I think.
Well, 9 hits. Okay. Well, how many hits does a regular tiger shot do? 2. And if you're gonna do 2, which is what you said he did, then 2 tiger shots. All right. So that's still 7 hits where that orb can't do nothing. Even an EX tiger shot wouldn't have gotten through it with those other 2 hits on top of it.
Well, if you want to get through that, which probably been a waste thing, you have to burn your entire meter.
So it wouldn't be worth anything.
It wouldn't be worth anything, honestly.
Honestly, what you should do right then is just go into a defensive state and watch out for mix-ups and cross-ups until that orb vanishes from the screen.
I mean, block your reward if you can. I mean, I'm not sure how much chip damage that thing will do now in its latest build, but it looks like a fearsome Ultra. Then it looks really fearsome. It looks amazing, really. It looks really amazing.
It does. I like it a lot myself. I'm not gonna lie.
It is freaking crazy, but I don't know if I'm gonna main her. I'll try her out. It'll be just like any other character. I mean, however she feels when I try her out will determine how far to go.
That's the same thing. That's what any new character they introduce. Just like when they introduce the new characters to Marvel, people try them out, like Iron Fist. people of that nature. People had to try them out, see what they were about, what they could do with them, what situations would be viable for me to use this character. Is this character viable in more situations versus not viable in other situations? And they weighed those options and they adjusted their playstyle to compensate for those options.
Right. And the whole look. Because I know some of you listening may have heard the first episode where it was pretty much centered around stuff people complain about. None of us here have any problem with anybody critiquing anything.
It's what it's all about. We want you guys to ask questions.
No, it's not just the show. I'm talking about with the whole Decapre thing. Then I'm just saying in general. I don't have problems with anything. I don't have problems with anybody talking about anything, like being critical and all of that. I have no problem with that. The whining and the complaining and the moaning has got a freaking... It was just... People judge this character before they even pick the character up. You don't have a right to say anything about that character unless you were at Final Round, where some people actually got a chance to try the character after the reveal and the streams and everything shut down.
Or unless you're in Japan and their arcades where they released the game at first, that was a build that they actually released to the entire public to play. You really have no right to say anything about the character because you don't know anything.
I mean,
and that's just the truth.
Exactly, and it's just this. It's like this is becoming a phase with the FGC when it comes to character. Well, I don't know. Like it's just the comment sections of SRK and all this stuff, but blah. You gotta give. Like I'm not saying Capcom is invulnerable to criticism. I'm not saying they don't make mistakes. I'm not saying they've never made me mad with anything. But
it happens.
You got to give stuff a fair chance before you judge it. I mean, it's only fair, really, because it's just merely, in any other case, it's prejudging. And you don't want to be prejudged about anything. You might not care, but is it fair? Hey, that rhymes. But seriously, it's like, the outpour for that character, the negative energy was just silly. It was just stupid. And people want to talk about, oh my gosh, and Capcom hyped it up. They hyped it up and they gave us this garbage. Okay. Who really hyped it up? Did they hype it up or did you guys hype it up?
Did they give you something that they just released to the public and then said, do what you will with it?
Because the most ridiculous thing about that whole segment, why were people mad when Retsu and Rainbow Mika, when they showed up in the trailer? Why were they so mad when it was revealed neither one of them was a character?
Probably because people just wanted to play with those characters in the new build of the game, and then Capcom just decided of their own volition that they did not want those characters in the game, and they can do that because they make it. That's their job.
Okay.
People don't complain about you with the job that you do. They might, but what good is it going to do?
Okay, if that was your reason, if for anybody who was just upset for that similar reason, then I got something to tell you. Pay closer attention. You who all have been getting hyped about this character have probably known it for a long time now. They gave us hints on what this character was going to be. We knew what this character was going to be. It was going to be somebody who is relevant to the Street Fighter universe that has never been playable. It was going to be female as well. Rainbow Mika was playable at one time. Not going to be the character.
And didn't Yoshinori Ono say that only 5 people on the internet actually guessed out of all the millions of people, billions of people that have access to the internet? Only 5 people actually guessed correct on this planet who that character was going to be.
Exactly. And then Retsu. Retsu is a guy. He wasn't going to be the character. See, that right there was kind of poor on Capcom's part. It's like those were very terrible teases because we see Rainbow Mika. Oh my God! Wait a minute. No, you were playable in Alpha 3. You're not going to be in it. And Retsu, you were a guy. You're not going to be it. And who's it going to be? And people talk about, Capcom throwing curveballs. No, not this time. You took the mix-up and you fell for it.
Yeah, fell for it. You fell for the setup.
Like, I'm not saying Decapre is bad. When she got revealed out of 10, I gave her a 5 because only half of her was appealing to me, and that was the moves. I mean, aesthetically, it looks like Cammy with a mask, but, and And I don't like the design that much, but the moves, the character looks nice. So I gave her a 5 out of 10.
Out of 10. And 5 is good in our circle. So in case you didn't know,
Yeah.
if you get a 5, it might as well be a 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, how would y'all like rate Decapre number based? As far as like overall character, not just design, but
Just
everything,
every aspect right now that we've been revealed.
Cumulative, if you will.
Right now, just because I haven't touched her, just from what I've seen, I give her a strong 7. A very strong 7.
That was pretty much my my number rounding too. It was probably gonna be like a 7 for me, based on what I've only seen. So until I get my hands on it, I'll give you next time. If I get my hands on it, I'll give you even more accurate, reading.
The number might rise, the number might fall. It might stay the same. But until you can actually play the character and get your hands on them, I feel that it's not fair to pass judgment.
Yeah.